Namaste. Namaste, beloved angels. Much blessings and love from our little Saint Thomas. Who would believe? It's raining here non-stop this May and non-stop sunshine. Just changing. Every day sunshine, every day rain. Beautiful, beautiful. Blessings. Everything will grow. Much fruit, much vegetables. Everything growing, everything green, everything nice. So, much rain is here, much sun. It's really strange weather. But this is creation. Creation is healed. Sexuality is creation, beloved angels. That's why it's blocked. So the creation does not expand and put to shame and invert it. Anyway, I'm dedicating this video to beloved Susan Corbett. I'll tag her, my beloved sister. She given me donation, and when I asked if she ever needs some healing, she said about something about sexual healing, about wounds and this shame and this, you know what happens in our life. We get hurt, we get this, we get that. Much wounds are caused through sexuality, and it stays with us. It is one thing to be tantric master, to have your sex under control and you don't let it out. Now I'm 3 months in this, it's wonderful. But you are full of that passion and full of that creation from within. When it's because of trauma and because of these things, this is not same. This is opposite and should be healed. Anyway, so yes, then I thought this is now really in the singed with the energies and everything. Yes, I can speak about this. And I tell you, I can do this. I play 1 hour flute there for some coins. Somebody gives some coins, I can speak the topic they want to speak. Remember this. I can speak 1 hour here, but maybe not that day, maybe after 3-4 days or like this, because I have things that source wants me to speak. So maybe I'll not speak that day. But this I got idea. Yes, no problem. I can do that. I can give you 1 hour explaining what you want me to explain. If you choose what you give. Okay? I got in this idea because she has given me donation just so like people give. And when I just asked something, she said about this. And now when I wanted to speak about this, I got this idea. So yes, everybody welcome, but in my time. I'm very busy. Sometimes I go there. Sometimes I have to speak this. I will speak even if after 1 week. For sure, I give you my word. Man and word are one. If I break the word, I'm not worth it of my dream. So like this. So everybody's free. Also this I can add to my sustenance. So yes, sexual healing. Let us go to the topic. In this world, you see everything goes and originates from the abuse to divine feminine, to goddess. And she became a symbol of sex and sex symbol of evil, and she's seducer and like Christian and Catholic and all these religions, which are not the truth of what Master has brought, and Jewish and like that, and Islam. India, after when Islam infiltrated and made genocide there, Holocaust, biggest in the world, 1,000 and something years ago, then India was also turned like this, but India was the last place that practiced the way of Lemuria, divine feminine, until end of first millennium. And then they also broke India. So this is deep abuse and deep wound that is not just what happened in this life, in our sexual life. It's just a reflection of everything what was happening in past. So these are very deep wounds. very deep traumas. I know I have healed them. I've been a young boy and I had prostate problem, which is crazy. And doctors could not find no reason, nothing, no inflammations, no possibility of cancer. Nothing was there. They were just puzzled. But I had attacks like woman when she's giving birth or in contractions. Very painful. I, Divine Feminine, I was healing this. That's why my symptoms were like a woman. So like this, I understand. And I remembered, and also this life, some abuse happened in childhood from family. So, grandfather, what to do? We experience things. So once again, you are here listening to a man who has no sexual wounds, who mastered his sexuality and is now third month. He said 90 days. I'm almost there. So the books say, and like this sacred secretion and like these books, the knowledge says 90 days and you are free. So yes, I have healed the great wounds and then also mastered. But I don't know how my mind and all this functions because I never felt guilty. And whatever happened to me, I never blamed. I never much. I don't know. I was even in religion sometime that condemned sex. The Hare Krishna condemns much more than it's evil. It's just they say for them it's sin if you make love without making a child, and not like in Christian religion, just like superficial. They have to follow and like this. So I was even then under this spell of false matrix religion. But I had a girl and I had no shame about it. And things happened to me, I had no shame. I never had much sex, only with 3 girlfriends. I'm like this, I want love. I don't want empty myself. This is not my thing, because I'm not lusty guy. But I'm very sexual. I heal that, and also in relationship, some things happen and like this, but nothing of abusive, traumatic. That's more emotional and something that the other party, my partner, experienced her wounds and like this. This were deep and was not mine. I was just being part of wounds of somebody else also. So have my own wounds. Been not sexually hurt or abused by partner in this life. It is not. But I have been with 2 girls that have gone through very bad things. And my first girlfriend, her name Lalita, I felt it, I don't know, I was always the I. I told her, don't go there, don't go to that student house, go out you and find something else. Don't go now there. I was telling her, something bad happened to you, don't go there. She never people listened to me. And what I felt always then happened. And really something bad happened to her. She was sleeping and they were these people on drugs and like this, and somebody really violated her, raped her like this. So insanity. So I experienced the wounds of another freshly and how it affects the relationship and everything, and how sexuality dies, shame, guilt, and all these things. I never had this life about sexuality, never. Even when religion was indoctrinating me, I would go to hell. I just didn't. I felt in my heart it's not true. Filter out and make love with the one you love, not just like a dog. So This is deep. This is very deep. We blame ourselves. This I learned from victims that I was really intimately close in my heart and in body. We hurt ourselves because we feel guilty. We feel ashamed. We feel not worth it. We feel like we don't want to go out, but somebody did something to us. What is this? But we feel like we are guilty. This is the sexual thing because it is so deeply engrossed in women. All this abuse that happened through millennia, that guilt is felt, and many times guilt is felt even to report it to the authorities. And like this, like the statistics show, not even 10% of sexual violations meets the law. Everything is silence, shame, guilt of the one who got hurt, because the society is masculine, and regardless the laws and everything, this energy is there, you know. And also there at the police station, they violate you once again to collect the evidence and like this, you know. It's insane. The system, it's insane. They should have really somebody spiritually awakened in a, if you're female, somebody warm, tender, really not a cop, nothing. Somebody who you feel it's really enlightened in this, and you can let him take the sample and everything. Such person and your same sex should be there. This is always there, same sex, but this police woman can be without emotion, without rough like this, like you are with. And it's the procedure and everything is not nice. And the victim has to reveal everything on the court, and everything goes public. So like this, because of these factors, especially the ones now I mentioned, that everything will everybody know everywhere, because you have to. Because of that, poor girls remain silent. And also my girlfriend, she didn't. I did not care. I don't know, I said I would do something to that guy, but this is only the word, I would do nothing. But I would report and put him into justice. But she did not want, and her family to know and everything. So you see, is this. The shame is so deep, even if it happens to you, maybe even the family will condemn you. You understand? Same was with my grandfather. But I was mature and enlightened almost when I remembered, because it was trauma and causing my prostate pain and everything that was deep within. And at 30 I remembered, you know. And then I had no need anymore to cause any drama to anything, because I healed the things that make me blame him before that I remembered. And I could easily let it go. Maybe few weeks feeling like I don't want to go there to your grave, but after everything okay. So I don't know, I suppressed the memory, but it was affecting my relationships, my everything, and that shame and guilt for nothing inside. And this shame and this guilt is actually what causes sexual dysfunction, and that your sexuality dies, the chakra stops spinning. Your guilt My guilt, everyone who has guilt, who had guilt about this. I did not know what I have guilt for, but I was feeling guilty of everything. But I did not remember why. And this causes problems downstairs. And as chakra is not spinning, I had big problems with prostate, pain such I could not move out of the bed for 2 days. So this can transform into physical disease. You know, it's all about, because this is creation, you know, creation. And shame and guilt are these energies that stop your creation. And the system is made like this, and religion and everything. So the sexuality is put to shame, that naturally people will feel ashamed, and creation would stop, just like chakras stop spinning. And problems occur and everything, you know. All over the place, everybody is sexually diseased, running after lust or hurt. Because there was put guilt and shame on the sexuality, and this guilt and shame you feel. And let me go deep into the religion stuff. I know I can tell you a little bit science in very simple words, how this scientifically happens. Through religions, like through Hare Krishna religion, who says sex is just a rubbing of the meat, and it's only divine to make a divine pure child in pure consciousness. Otherwise, it's sin. And they condemn it like this. And all the people there have sexual problems. And problems in that area. Now when I'm speaking about this, I'm feeling here something. You see, because it's so heavy what they're doing. They know what they're doing. It's inverted religion. They know they stop the creation. And when you stop the creation, you have no will to live. And then you follow. And that's why everybody also following the system. And then they empty themselves to feel more guilty after. And more ashamed. This is deep trick. Stops the creation, stops your will to live, and then you can be a slave. Oh yes, it's divine to be celibate, divine not to let your semen out, or like woman be chaste like this. If it's done naturally, the first wounds have to be healed. Sexuality has to be healed first. No more guilt, no more shame. And then when it's fully functionable, then you can do the tantric mastery of mastering your sexuality, that no more lust you will ever need. But you will make love when you want, out of passion of creation and joy, not out of need. I never had this lust so much that I would have to run after women and like this. If I met by the will of God somebody, I was in a relationship, and this was it for me. And if I was year two without, even so young, no problem. I did not search. I really never slept with anybody like this without a relationship. Never searched even for that, I think. So like this. In this sense, my sexuality was always healed. No perverted stuff. And anyway, I'll tell you now something that will really sound insane, and somebody will think, what the fuck he's saying? He's stupid. I'm extreme, because like tantric masters, they were watching tantric sexual acts in India. They were dressing the strippers and never this belly dancers and like this and tantric with this, but they were just doing this to feel aroused but not to do anything. So this is even more crazy control, that you expose yourself and you control yourself. I'm like Ramakrishna, I'm extreme. I don't know if porn is guilty for anything. Porn is a reflection of consciousness. When consciousness is healed, porn is to be divine. Like now, there is some tantric movies, tantric art, and it's changing as consciousness is changing. I don't know, I've been watching porn all my life and nothing, it did nothing to me, only made me divine. Not joking. State of consciousness. But as consciousness rises, you don't want to watch anymore, like maybe some. That's why I know that consciousness is changing, because there are groups that do tantric documentaries to show the divinity of sex, of couples that are willing to do that, and they show that love and that honor and that respect to others that they can see. And I saw many things that are doing that, and I give them honor, I give them respect, because this is healing. People are looking this filth and this emotionless it's just like, it's really low graded and everything, and if such art is infiltrating in these pages, is helping these people who are watching this. But anyway, before, like I say, when I was like from 20 to 30 and like this, that's why I say porn can do you nothing, and this is just the man's consciousness. I was watching non-stop, but I didn't have to, because like maybe this is my tantric master memories from past life when I dressed the strippers just to be controlled. And nothing me. No perverted things ever. I did not think, not felt, not ran after, never violated nobody, never disrespected my girlfriend or anything. So in my experience, it's the consciousness of man. Porn is not a guilt. Porn is a reflection of that consciousness. And if I don't have that consciousness, it doesn't affect me even if I see it. Like it did not affect tantric masters to go watch the act and to go dress the tantric artists and undress like this. So it's all about consciousness. We should not search for things that are guilty, that sexuality is on such state and men are on such state, lusty, and women in this world. We cannot say porn is fault. I don't watch that filth some time now, years, because my consciousness. But if there's some like this tantric art, I watch with pleasure, because this is, I see and feel, this is love. This is, they are giving, they are showing what lovemaking should be, divine. And this I honor. And it's like going to church. So there's nothing is to blame now. The cause is very ancient, abuse to divine feminine and everything that followed. This porn and this prostitution and all these things are reflections of that consciousness. And as this consciousness, sexual consciousness of humanity heals in this world, you know, these things are to transform and mirror that consciousness, not be any more filth and perverted, but be something full of respect, love, and no more seen as something low, because sexuality is no more low. Low, I mean low, not low. Low It's high consciousness then, or awakened people who cherish each other, who love each other, who respect the soul of each other. And a society is such, also art is such, mirroring that. And now the art, the sexual art, is mirroring the consciousness that is now on this planet. And that's why changes are there. More love, more sensuality, more everything is visible through years because the consciousness is rising. You know, it is per old movies, 60s, 70s. This was like macho men, like, you know. So consciousness mirror. Women is nothing there. They can do anything like this. So our art, our movies, our music, they say this is the blame for everything. This is the matrix. These are just the reflections of our consciousness that support our consciousness, because our consciousness is such. And everything changing with the healing of our consciousness, our wounds, and so also sexuality healing and sexual art healing and changing. And on one side, when you see, because the dragon is dying, you have more filth, you have more everything, more prostitution, more everything, because the dragon is screaming. So we are living in two worlds, and this is also seen everywhere, even in sexual expressions like this. So let me go back to that. And it's all shame because of porn, and everybody feels, the parents and everyone, this is shameful. The children, they are watching porn because they have all internet and everything. They're watching porn at 10-year-old, and they feel ashamed. Father will see me, mother will see me, and naturally shame, shame, shame. And through that, and yes, it's the reflection of consciousness. But like I said, porn supports that consciousness, so also indoctrinate children. First, it's filth on the screen, and second, it's shame because mother will see, father will see, and when they catch them with their wiener in their hands, then they're more in shame when mother comes, you know, like this. So it's everywhere shame. So yes, these things absolutely I agree. The majority of porn industry is shame and should not be there, does not belong anywhere else but to hell. Like this. So everything is to make us feel shame. Shame, shame. Men are feeling shame because they're jerking off on filth videos. And they cannot make love to their wives. And then they feel shame. Like this. And everything supports shame. And like I said, shame and guilt destroy the creation. So the shame and guilt in this world has to be natural. You have to be guilty non-stop. This they made you that you are never good enough. And you have guilty over something, and you have to feel shame for being human. And sexuality is being human. So naturally, there is a lot of things out there through centuries, through millenniums, that are here to make you feel guilty and ashamed. And your chakra stop spinning. You have no will to live, no will to create, no will to nothing. Depression and all these things. And results of sexual guilt and shame are also can be physical. You are no more having sexual desire, or even it's like died. Not like tantric mastery. With tantric mastery, you don't need to let it out for years. But when you want to make a beautiful child and make a love, there's no problem. Tantra means control. Tantric master can make love every day to his wife for hours, but does not allow himself to let anything out, and it's not by force and something that he has to force himself. and that is hard to do. No, it's hard to let out because there's no need. But there's need to make love and to please a goddess. And in this consciousness, so in old age, like you read Vedic stories, there's yogis, and when there's a story how he made love with his wife in the in the carriage on the sky, in the UFO, you know, it's like he wanted to, it was just in the story he wanted to please her and give her everything, and like this is nothing he wanted to please himself. He had no lust, he had nothing, he just wanted to please the goddess. And in this consciousness, tantric mastery, when you no more need to have sex, there's no more sexual violations, abuse, forcing, and all these stupid things that come out of lust. And so this ascended consciousness, and woman is not abused and violated in any way if she has a headache. Anyway, man, tantric master does not need to have sex, so he will make love only when his goddess will want to. Like this, problem solved. She can have headache every day and all headaches stop. You know, naturally all headaches will stop because she will not need no headache anymore. She don't want, and she will not need to say I have a headache because nobody will trouble her and force her and tell her, oh, okay, and like this, you know. Like turning around in the bed until she figures out that you just are too full. And these are these crazy things, you know. And these are this small. And you get sexually, women get hurt in these things also. Because it's a very vulnerable and intimate. And if you don't feel like doing it, and you must because man is full of his shit, you can go to bathroom and let it out. What the fuck? Why he needs to. And these things build up, build up. These are small things. But even in the law of our law of this world, the system, is written that even in the matrimony, the sex without consent is rape. So this is even law. Not like this, but you know how it is. If man is not under control and he sleeps next to a woman, he cannot not to need to have sex. Like this. And the power, man is losing power, the divine power, strength, and like this, and it's weak. I see this in these 3 months, such power and such focus, and really becoming unfuckwittable, because the power of creation is within and works throughout. You don't let it out. And focus, pinpoint focus, and power is felt. Really power. So I recommend every man to work on this. Not to dismiss it like we don't need it, because I know how it is when you are letting it out and when you're keeping it in. Naturally, but has to be natural. Don't force yourself nothing. I knew this one day will come, and when there is too much down there, I always let it out before with no shame, with nothing. You cannot keep it out unnaturally. But when you, now I'm speaking for men, when you, this video dedicated for Susan, I'm speaking for everything, for everyone, yes. So, but when you have the desire and you chosen in your heart that one day you will stop and you will naturally no more need to let anything out of your body, this will happen as long as you will not run after women. Do to yourself what you need and go to sleep. And in this way, you are willing to win this But no shame and nothing, because I see something, men are trying to do this forcefully, then they blame themselves when they cannot, and this creates more shame, more guilt, and more sexual disease. And all these things has to be approached naturally. The man has to know that it's natural to let it out as long as body needs to let it out. But as you work on it in meditation, in your will and your choice, and not running after things that just make you more lusty, like sex with somebody just like that because you need. It's no problem to help yourself when you need, because you have to let it out. But if you run after women, you are telling the universe, I actually don't want to ever win this sexual mastery. And you have, and naturally this is violation, because if you are having sex with somebody just like sport, there's no respect, and she can get attached, and she's hurting, and and in this way you will never succeed. So don't blame yourself for spilling it when you need, but don't violate other souls because you still need to empty yourself out. This is for men, this is advice. This is how I did. Like, I never ever blame myself for anything about sexuality. It was as I naturally at that time functioned and what my body needed to let out. I did not run after women. I never blame myself for what naturally in body feels that has to go out. It has to go out, otherwise it makes you crazy. And now result is wonderful, always full of divine passion, divine sexuality, always fully, but never in no need. It's within, coming up to the heart, coming up everywhere. It's like the sacral secretion, same thing, like sexual energy is rising to chakras. Up, 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 up. Here is very nice. But here you are still under the influence. When it's at the heart, you are still under the influence, and you let it out sometimes. Yes, you still need, but you feel that divine love already. But like for sacral secretion, science is saying when the oil is crucified, it goes up your spine. Here is the cross, and when it comes up here, then it stays there. Then you no more need. This happens like one time a month. And if in this time, in this period, you are not letting it out, it goes up. Anyway, before that much spiritual practice is needed that you have it so high already. But if then, in that time when the oil wants to rise, the sacral secretion oil, you are not sexually active, men or women, lastly are like this, men not letting it out, then the oil rises, is crucified and resurrects and goes into your third eye and into your crown, and you become that. That's why it's important. It goes hand in hand with enlightenment with men. So we can really know about our state very much, what our body still needs to let out or not. And this is really a factor. If we have still some work to do to log out, to really say I'm enlightened, that's why I say always, like here I was almost enlightened, almost, because this factor was really the feeling and everything, and the connection, and no more karma, and the connection and everything. See, this was present still, but I needed to help myself sometimes. So It's a really different. It's being. After that point, I feel being that I am always, every moment, from within, and also with interaction with others. So it gives you focus, it gives you power, and gives you your real you, more you. Kind of, you stay there. You can be enlightened, then you can go a little down and you are again there. Where you stay there, it's fixed. Even in hard moments and everywhere, the mind is crazy and like everywhere, but from the heart you observe. So like this is for men and something for women also. But let me go back a little about sexual guilt and shame. Like I said, shame and guilt is original sin. This, anybody, any girl, any man who has unhealed sexual traumas and sexual shame or cause of shame and guilt and all these things that their sexuality died, need to work on this. First, need to understand that you are not guilty of anything. There's nothing you should be ashamed. And those who violated you throughout your life, they should be ashamed. And everything what happened to you, those who did, they should be ashamed, not you. First, you have to kill the shame, kill the guilt. Okay, I experienced this in order to learn out of this, to see how this matrix works, how is this everything unhealed and perverted, in order I can heal myself and become master and help those who are traumatized with same stuff that I was traumatized, just like I'm doing now, very deeply, as victim of childhood abuse. I'm not victim anymore, but I'm master of childhood abuse now. This is the difference. You become victim, and when you master it, when you heal it, then you become master of it, and you can help others with these things. And anyway, it's childhood or grown up, it's the same thing. It affects same consciousness, same things in you. So, like this. Guilt, you have to kill it. Because these things are causing, after you were hurt and like this, these things are causing all the problems and sexual dysfunctions and termination of your sexuality and all these things, your guilt and your shame. It's because we have to understand sexuality is creation. If we have sexuality on off, unnaturally, forcefully, we don't create nothing. We don't live. The will to live is dead. The creation is not spinning, so it's good to go when you have these traumas, like observe the bees and the flowers, observe the mother nature, how father is making love to her in so many ways, through sun, through animals, through bees, through like this. And you spend much time in nature, and so you once again you see the divinity of, you see actually everything is sexuality in nature, everything, all creation. Nature is divine sexuality. This system is perverted porn that makes money. This system. And when you go in nature, you see the divine sexuality. And you can heal through that. Through seeing how father is making love to mother in so many ways. Through sunlight, through wind, that is combing her hair, through bees making love, rain, always loving her. And then you can see how it is. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. By no means, if your sexuality unhealed, you should not sexually open yourself like some do, just to kill it, and then they become like harlots and like this prostitutes in some way. Many of victims. It's a really how it happens. The effect of that becomes that one loses respect for himself and like this, and then goes do such things because they think I'm violated already. So what's the problem? So we should, if we are suffering from unhealed sexual things, we should not be sexually wild and free and like this. No. Sexually free can be Krishna and gopis that have no attachments, no wounds sexual, nothing to heal, and they can be 108 with one man and have no problem. But we are not such. I feel I am, but I don't need that because the consciousness of girl, they get attached and they will get hurt. So I rather be celibate still, okay? For respect to goddess. No, only for that. So like this. And for respect for my headaches. Attachment. Attachment. Need. Missing. Need. Karma. That makes sexuality, oh that. And I want to run away from it. A true sexuality is expression of divine love. Divinity in me, making love to divinity in you in most intimate worship. In our higher self, in divine pure consciousness, experiencing God and Goddess uniting in our body. Passion of creation. This is how real sexuality, divine love, should feel and be. Art of creation. You know? So like this, I said many things, what else to say? And I want to return to the guilt and shame. Because this I said before, I want to repeat. You know? In any ways we were violated, we should not feel guilty or ashamed because this we are blaming ourselves. We actually did something. It's like you get shot and then you blame yourself that you got shot. And you want to sentence yourself and you want to punish yourself. Like I said, that's why most of the cases doesn't come to court because there's shame. Everybody will hear it, everybody will know. And system is made in such way to hurt you sexually even more when you are sexually abused. I said this in the first part, but it was important to give some light again. Because really is this guilt and shame. Whatever happened, happened. Guilt and shame make our sexual chakra even stop completely, and that creation stops. We stop. Willing to live stops. I know because I was healing this for a long time and did not know even why I had, because my memory is suppressed, like I told. But at 30 it got revealed and needed some years to heal. And like I said, I felt guilt and did not know why. Guilt is original sin. And first thing is, one has to feel guilty. Because everyone Everyone who has any sexual issues that need to be healed. Everyone, if they look within themselves, they will find they have shame and guilt in their heart. I give you my word, everyone. And then, as you acknowledge this, then you go deep into this. What is this? From where is coming from? And you untie it, untie it. And when you remember, when you know, you understand you're guilty of nothing. And they should be ashamed of yourself, no, not you. You are just taking your lessons. Anyway, I was extreme. How I heal these things like a shaman with the help of natural medicine that can make you really dive deep into just that and see nothing else. I helped myself with psychedelics, but I don't recommend to everybody because I'm my mind very powerful. I could do ayahuasca alone with no guidance and nothing, and enjoyed all the darkness and have no fear. That I knew it is just me experiencing what is within me to heal it, and it will go out. This was my extreme way, was to helping myself also. But yes, if you have guidance of a shaman, of somebody who organize a healing event with the holy plants or pure medicine, like it has to be, everything has to be pure. If it's LSD, has to be pure. If it's ayahuasca, has to be pure. Everything has to be pure, and I don't recommend nobody doing what I'm doing, what I've been doing that years. I don't take psychedelics now anymore because I don't need uh, to do all these things and full of these traumas. This can end in disaster. People are jumping from balconies, and psychedelics cannot kill you, but the consciousness can kill you if you take them. That's why these things, like healing through psychedelic medicine, should be done under supervisor that is qualified, a master. Only in this case. These things can very much help all the psychedelic medicine. But I repeat, never on your own. Because person who is suffering from this is naturally weak in mind and consciousness, and it can cause, because you cannot run away from the experience. You are facing the experience. The psychedelics are like you have a pit of snakes and you have to jump in it. And people are only hurting themselves on psychedelics because they face their traumas, their darkness, and they cannot run away, and they run away like this. So this is very cautious. I knew what I was doing because I always knew how powerful my mind is, and that I will always know is a dream. But I'm mentioning this because it's very powerful. It takes you deep in the reasons, the causes, and everything. But professional guidance that is trusted to give that protection and that guidance through the experience. That because I know I've seen things few times. I helped somebody supervised. And it's like this, if you are powerful professional, they can do something to themselves. I've seen people going in fear, starting to be afraid of me even, and like this. And then you have to know how to pacify them so they can continue the healing. So like this. Anyway, it's for brave days because you will face what you are hiding from yourself, what is causing the shame and guilt. That's always these things are not recreational to have a party to just take to that to the these things are gifts of mother to heal, to see, what is within, and always should be done. Never abuse to have fun. That's why I don't, when I don't need, I am a drug myself. I don't need nothing. But when I needed to heal very deep stuff, I knew what I had to do. That's why I'm recommending this. But once again, all this natural medicine under the guidance that is master guidance. So it should be. This is a ritual. This is something sacred and holy. And holy men should lead it. Otherwise, it's abuse of divine medicine, and that's why bad things happen. And it's all what I want to say. But in my experience, it can really bring things to the surface. You face them and let them go. And another, okay, this is for hardcore first, advisors, psychologists, somebody like me who's doing personal advisement. I don't. They are angels everywhere. Somebody professional. If I would do that, these things are professional and should be charged, because you are giving your time, you're giving your attentions for hours, and then they give focus, and they will also do what needed to be done if they have to give something. And your time will not be wasted, and they will not waste your time and waste their own time. So like if I ever change and want to like do like this, these things are something that you do privately for somebody. You give your time, it takes a lot of time, and this should be mutual exchange. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. It's funny because I see when people want help for free, they can waste your time and then just decide they will not follow anything. But then I have to give the God of this world some money, then they will follow what you say or leave you. Like this, or not even start this, because so it is, like this. So there are professionals from a lot of fields, masters who can help you to go through this, but you have to cherish their help also and value what they're giving. Because this is, I know we are empaths, and like this, if I start advising personally, I'll make a booking. If I would, I don't. I'm a writer, I'm a poet, I'm a free bird, like this. Because master is more sensitive and feels more these things like you. So it's really something that you need to go into. Even when I did it before, you need to go to meditation after to balance your energies and everything. Because it's really hard work for the advisor also to go through all these things. So yes, get help. In these cases, it's good to get some help, somebody who can guide you to heal these things. This video can help much, but the more wounds are deep, the more healing need to be done. Is really need somebody to give you attention and time, and you value what they are giving to you. Like this, and giving we receive. I covered basically everything what I wanted to say. Guilt and shame should be eradicated, and as guilt and shame are eradicated, and really healing can take light speed paced. I spoke about porn and all these things before because all the guilt should be gone. Whatever you're doing, whatever you're watching, whatever, I don't care. Don't feel guilty. But heal it and make it better. Whatever you're doing, stop it and heal it. Make it better, make it divine. Those who are addicted to porn, men, I recommend now there are groups who are in the industry just infiltrated to heal this, to show what divine love is. Watch that. Don't watch filth, but watch something that will make you see what love should be, not something that make your consciousness drop to hell and lust and all these things. Because I spoke about porn, because porn is just a reflection of consciousness, like I said. Never did nothing to me, I said. And all my from 15 to 30, no problem. Never did nothing perverted, never had affair, never violated nobody, never disrespected, never nothing. So it's just a reflection of consciousness. It doesn't build you, but it's a product of the consciousness of humanity, product of this abuse. So if the actors on the screen are savage, on drugs, with no respect, with just like animals, not animals, animals are not so low, but really like perverted and like this and no emotions, nothing. This energy is in the movie and this comes to you. If you feel very more, that's why when I saw this new tantric art, I felt, oh, this is beautiful. And this beautiful energy is transferring into men. So if you are addicted, watch something like that, but it will maybe not feel so lusty like you like and like savage and like this. Change a little bit. Heal. Don't feel guilty that you watch, but watch something divine, something with feeling, something with sensuality, something with love, something where you feel there are human beings in the movie, not pieces of meat. Divine always. If men are addicted, change their addictions, and as they will watch that kind of things, usually I don't know now how these labels are called. I really don't watch anymore. I mean, if I feel in myself I want to watch a tantric act, I will go watch it, but I will find something of pure angels in earth. Not out of my lust, but to see the act and feel it. And that men should watch, which is full of emotion, full of love. They are usually couples that are together and are doing this to heal the humanity. They're doing great work. I saw they're angels like this. So men should shift. The consciousness is rising and also these things are rising. There are things there that can change the way within you. If you are addicted to that, you can satisfy your addiction with watching something divine, because now in these times it's available. And these emotions of the couple that loves each other and respects each other and honors and enjoys the art of creation with respect and love is to be transferred to you. And you'll be a better man. You'll watch that savages who are full of drugs and lusty and just want to empty themselves and want to humiliate women and no emotions and nothing. And this abuse on the screen, this will affect you. I don't need porn. But if you need, don't feel guilty, but there is a lot of things you can watch. oh men, that are not filled now on new earth, on the other side. Never feel guilty. Never feel guilty. Like I said, I spoke a lot about naturally ending the lust, and about men, how they should reach the state when they don't need anymore to spill anything of their seed out. Once again, I repeat, if you do it, don't be guilty. Like I said, it has to be naturally. Never feel guilty that you are not on that stage already. For 13 years, I know I had to reach this stage. I never felt guilty. If body needs to let it out, it needs to let it out. But I never ran after woman to have just sex. Like I said, just 3 relationships, and in these 3 serious relationships, I had made love. And in meanwhile, if body needs to let it out, help yourself. Don't run after women. Don't violate women. They get attached. You will violate their consciousness, their hearts, and it will not happen your rising of lust. But if you are naturally just doing what you have to do, but you do it to yourself, and you are still in that will that you will achieve, and you meditate, but never no guilt. No guilt in men, in women. Nothing about sexuality. This society and religion and all, they are redeeming masturbation like sin. All India, these poor children, all traumatized. Because the society is condemning sexuality as topmost sin, they all watch porn because they cannot have relationship until they are 21 years old, usually. But they are maturing and they have this porn industry they are watching and all crazy, going insane. You see, it's insane. It's just guilt. They're programming the children, the teenagers, to be guilty. And then the internet is giving them so much porn. So naturally they'll go insane. More lusty and more like this. Phew. Never. That's why I'm giving the the video I'm giving the focus only on guilt and shame. Don't feel this. Don't feel this. Don't violate nobody. Respect others' sexuality as you respect your own, and feel no shame. If 2 people make love out of their will, out of their choice, don't feel shame. Don't feel shame. And for things that were not so pure that happened, don't feel shame, but choose to be better next time. Choose not to do this anymore. Choose to respect yourself, choose to respect others. But never feel no guilt. Never feel no guilt. Go like this. This video will help to heal because I go in I focused on many topics, even I went in controversial areas very deeply. Maybe shocked many, maybe lose some friends, I don't care. I know what I did, and God and Mother loves it, for our sexuality needs to be healed. We should not blame anything, porn and anything. These are the states of consciousness, as now even porn is changing gradually. So all these things will change and become divine, and prostitution will be no more. And all these things, and filthy porn will be no more, and it will be art like everything else is art, honored, because it's full of love. What is full of love is art. Art is love. Art is expression of love. Wherever is art, there is love. Art of creation is love. Sex is lust, the act out of need. Art of creation is love, passion of creation. It's shifting, shifting. from something that was deemed as shameful and abused and perverted, and therefore out of that abuse and perversion, out of that it became such cause of all pain and trauma and something really shameful, because it was put to shame, put to guilt and abused. Sexuality, divine feminine, was abused. So as a cause of that, everything inverted, and sexuality became the cause of all pain in this world. Not because of sexuality is such, but because sexuality is actually most divine. It's actually union of divine feminine, divine masculine embodies to create a new life. Creation, act of creation. What is more divine? Think and feel. Think logically and feel in the heart. Can there be anything more divine than union of two human beings, pure, ascendant, to make love, to intimately unite with each other, to experience love of God and Goddess, to love each other most closely and intimately? What can be more divine? Nothing. Because through that act, new life is created. God breathes the breath of life into new child, new angel. What can be more divine? It's very creation. And now you understand why it's cause of all the pain and suffering in this world now. Because, listen to that, because something most high and most sacred was abused and put to shame. And Mother Divine Feminine, which gives birth to everyone here, to every man who ever abused her, to every man who ever abused her, Mother gave birth. She was abused and deemed as cause of seduction and evil and should be controlled and not trusted and all this, and sex also deemed as evil, as cause of all pain and like this. Because of that, it became just that. If you abuse something holy, the devil is born out of it. Devi, devil, just L. And if you know, like I've been now studying a little bit how the English language is actually all spells, the dark magician spelled, even devil. Devi and L means to put her in the corner, to ground her. Devil. So it's Devi, first word, destroy a woman. I saw this like this immediately when I saw this, when I a little bit studied all this, how this, I have to make one video about this also. But a little bit I have to more go deep within. So like this, yes. Devil means to abuse a woman. Devi, la. It's born out of that. Out of something most holy, most sacred. If it's abused, most unholy and most perverted. Something that needs most healing. The darkness is born. And that's why in this world sexuality is cause of all pain and cause of all drama and cause of trauma and suffering. Because divine sexuality was abused. Something most sacred to God. Something that represents actually the union on the beginning of I am, divine feminine, and love. When God falls in love and creation explodes in orgasm, in infinity, expands, ever fresh. And if you abuse mother and such act, only hell can be result. And then, yes, sexuality will become cause of all hell. So that's why I hope my video helps. We need to heal sexuality so this perverted causes like porn and prostitution, I mean perverted reflections of our consciousness, are to be healed. You know, the same like when I was young, I wanted to watch filthy movie. Now if I would put it on, I would feel, what the fuck, I want to see this. But if by chance I will find a beautiful tantric, really, of who masters are doing, full of love, I will enjoy that film without touching myself or anything. But on that movie like porn, I would throw up. It's same. As consciousness arises, that's why sexuality needs to be healed. And all these things will just drop off. Just like we in past maybe sometimes watch something filthy, now we don't want anymore. Because it's filthy. We feel that filth and we don't want to see it. That's why also when we are healed, when the consciousness rises, all these things are disappear. And I tell you, if you ban sexuality, I mean porn, if you ban it forcefully now in the world, it will become like heroin and marijuana and all these things. Ganja is not evil, but it was deemed evil also. But I say, if nothing would change if you would forcefully ban porn from this world. Nothing would change, just it would go underground. And it will become like they will sell CDs for 10 time prices because like now wheat is sold so expensively because you can go to prison. Same it would be because nothing would be healed. Nothing would be healed. That's why Gandhi said when they were saying they had to stop the nuclear, they had to get rid of nuclear weapons and like this. Gandhi said this is completely wrong approach. What you will achieve if you ban the nuclear weapons now? Nothing. Your consciousness that created that nuclear weapons is still there. And you will create something else. And nobody wanted to listen to him. Anyway, they did not ban nothing. So you see, same as with all these things. If you forcefully ban them, they will go underground and even become more filthy because there will be no more control and everything will be allowed and then you will become greater evil. Like when prostitution is controlled, it's better for the girls and everybody in the business. When it's illegal, then the real evil is there, real deep. You know, so it doesn't help. Experiences in this world show it doesn't help anything. It just goes underground and became more filthy. That's what I understood in the Vedas 5,000 years ago when consciousness was so high. Like this was still Lemuria. And I read a parable. There were prostitutes also in the parrots. And I thought, how in the world in the fifth dimensional consciousness when was coming to an end, how in the world prostitutes can be there? But then I understood, yes, because there were people in that low consciousness, and they, in order to, they could not forcefully ban them to do that. They could allow it and control it and supervise it and gradually heal it. If they would stop it, it goes underground and it becomes more filthy. Same with drugs. All these drugs should be in the by doctors on prescription, pure, controlled, not crime. Because they are getting, junkies are getting it anywhere, and then they get HIV and they get impure stuff, they die, they get some poison instead of the drugs and everything. Well, you see, it's like this. It gets worse when it's prohibited. Same would be with porn. And same it's proven with prostitution. The result of prostitution getting prohibited is more crime in prostitution and more abuse to women, even murders and all these things, because there's no control, there's nothing. So we need to also sexuality and these sexual things, we need to really look at it like this. We know we have to heal the consciousness. We have to help the humanity to heal the consciousness. The reflections of that consciousness, if we remove them, are to cause nothing because the consciousness is still there. So that's why I made this video, to help, to give spotlight to that consciousness a little bit. And what we can do, now I feel I was really long. I don't know even how, I don't imagine how, because I really went on fire and deep. But I feel I said what needed to be said for now. So have no shame, have no guilt. Let go of this first. Get some help. Psychedelic help only under supervisor of a master that is really can be trusted to guide you as a master, not somebody who just feels they can do it. But counseling, advisorship, like I said, going to nature, observing how mother and father are making love in every step. You destroy your guilt, you destroy your shame. And if you go to nature, naturally your creation chakra starts, is activated more and more. Helps. Mother always helps. Father's light and mother's love. And then you are a child of them making love and you are healed. Because they are making love and you are in between. You are getting born as a new healed baby. And as you are healed and you are master and your sexuality is healed and you no more have need and lust and you are full of divine passion of creation, then you are ready to return to Garden of Eden. In Garden of Eden, sexuality is just as divine as I have spoke before about divine love. Divine angels, innocent and pure, with no darkness, no perversion of sexuality within them, making love to each other out of love, out of respect, out of honor, to intimately share most divine moment and act with those who they love, with the one who they love, and experiencing very God and Goddess making love, dancing in passion of creation. From this what sexuality is here now in this world to that. From illusion to reality. Reality is love. Love heals everyone and everything. And I've given you this video out of love. Anybody want to share anything? If they feel they get some help, and if they feel like in their heart they want to help me to help more, you are so welcome in my PayPal, on my description box, Facebook, there under my, when you describe yourself, I have my PayPal. I will put also here. Nothing expected, nothing needed. I love to work for free and I love to receive for free, so I can work for free. Freedom, love, and yes, sexuality and freedom are one. Without freedom of choice, without free will, without you want to make love, there's not even any question about it. Like this. So, be blessed. Hope I helped a little bit. More or much. I love you. Be healed, and may all our sexual trauma and everything be healed. I healed my own. It was damn terrible, but if I could do it, everyone can do it. Namaste. I love you. Namaste.